Jacobs, and I'm here with my friend Elena Brower again, and we want to talk to you about, well, the topic that we were assigned is copy that converts. But as Elena and I were talking, we decided that it's not copy necessarily that converts, it's the sweetness of the language, right? It's the communication that makes somebody feel something emotionally. When I even hear the word copy that converts, it sounds so sterile to me.
Yeah, yeah.
It sounds like there's like this book that we can just pass on and say, type this on social media or say this in a class.
Right.
And the reason I'm not a big fan of scripts is because I don't have any. And when I'm in the mode and when I'm in the moment and I'm feeling it is when I am, I guess, if you want to use that word, converting. So Elaine, I know that you had a little story that you wanted to share too, but it really is about the sweetness in the language, right?
Yep. I think also, as you very astutely said during our sort of pre-conversation, it's about telling a story. On the posts that have done the best for me, I'm telling the story of my own resistance to the business, how long it took me to finally get what I was standing on in terms of the possibility for success and, gosh, community, collaboration, all the things that we love about this business. And I'm finding that the mission is best shared through story. And I see even in the past few weeks, a lot of the sort of higher ranked leaders are basically just coming out on their posts and telling the story of how they started, or telling part of the story of what touched their hearts or what is moving them now. And in those stories, we get excited, we feel engaged, we feel connected, we feel like a part of something bigger than us. That converts, quote unquote, into an action that is taken on the part of the person who is reading it. So I was just looking at Essential Christine, who on Instagram, just straight Essential Christine, she is talking about her sort of ascent from all the way in college through her various jobs and roles as an adult, through business school, so on and so forth, to where she landed in doTERRA, and the choices that she had to make and the risks she was taking for her family, and finally to letting go of her yoga studio in favor of her doTERRA business in order to grow it. And I'm following, it's over 2 posts she tells the story, dude. And as I'm following it, I'm like, oh my God, I know this person. I love her. I actually talk to her weekly because she's still my enrollment. And I'm enthralled by this story, things that I never knew about her. And she basically takes a little paragraph for each section of her life. And you can trace the sort of popcorn trail of where she finds herself here as a doTERRA leader, platinum, you know, burgeoning forward into the next rank of diamond, and serving through her story. That's copy that converts.
Yeah, and you know what? It doesn't even have to be about trying to get an enrollment. It doesn't even have to be about the oils themselves. Copy that converts is the storytelling period about your life. So when I have like a trip that I take that's amazing, or a trip that I take that sucks, or if I feel completely depleted, or I have an aha moment in my life, or I have a lesson that I learned, or I made a mistake or failed at something, when you share those stories, what happens is people come closer to you, right? They feel your heart. The more vulnerable that you are as a human being, the more real you become on social media and online. And when people can connect with you and feel like they have a relationship with you, then the trust is built, and then they're in your life. And converting, I guess, means a friendship, right? So what we're really trying to do is we're trying to develop these friendships and these relationships by storytelling. Now, we can get like more sophisticated about it, like Essential Christie, and, you know, map it out and plan it. And maybe she had certain days of the week that she wanted to post on it, or maybe she wrote the whole
I don't think she did. I think she goes like me. She just goes natural.
Right.
This
right.
came out of her in one big fell swoop. Post 1, post 2, she talks about her first flash as a figure skater, tests, high school, this, college, this, not getting into the school. Like, she just, one day she woke up very recently and she's like, oh my God, this is a post right now. And she has a picture of herself doing a video recording at Recent Leadership. And she talks about how she got there. I respect that you actually plan out your social media. I don't do that. I have 3 different Instagram accounts, only a couple Facebooks, and I just go au naturel. So there are many ways to do that, obviously, and with all due respect, I do better if I don't plan.
Yeah, and there's many ways to do it, but what I'm saying is that you have to be willing to get out there and tell the story. And like, the story doesn't have to be your doTERRA journey. The story doesn't have to be how you did here and how you made it to Diamond. The story doesn't have to be, you know, trying to convert somebody to come into your business. The story just has to be you. That's all it has to be. It just has to be you and getting out there and sharing a version of you. And when you guys are at certain conferences or certain meetings or certain conventions or certain live events, you know what I'm talking about, that when the people are on stage, the ones that capture your attention the most are the ones that know how to storytell. And so storytelling is copy that converts. And what I meant to say when you're planning is like, you can decide, like, I'm going to go to the beach today and I'm going to go and do 3 Instagram stories, right? And that's going to tell a story of, you know, how I'm starting my morning and where I'm getting my coffee, and then, you know, where I'm going with my kids. Or you can just wing it and do whatever you want. You can decide you're going to write all your social media for the week in 1 week, or you're going to do it as Elena does it whenever she feels it on, you know, from her heart. It doesn't matter. But the copy that converts that I keep coming back to is, what's going on here? What's going on here? And how can you make somebody else go, oh, I get her. I totally get her. And even better, I need to be around her. That is what's going to convert.
That's true. Very well said. Super, super. Perfect.
All right. Well, thank you guys again for hanging out with us, and enjoy the rest of your social media training.
Hey everybody, Jill Winger here, and this video is all about search engines. So I'm going to briefly talk about how you can create content and optimize your content to get as much traffic from search engines as possible. So we all know Google's a search engine, right? We all use it, but I want to talk about 2 today that you might not think of as powerful search engines, and that is Pinterest and YouTube. And if we think about how we use those platforms, or other people might be using those platforms, it becomes really clear that they're search engines, right? You type in how to make soap on Pinterest and you get a bunch of ideas. On YouTube, you type in how do I give my dog a bath, and you find a ton of videos on giving your dog a bath. And so people use those platforms to find useful information. So in our sharing efforts, as we're sharing doTERRA online, we can potentially become the creators of that high value content that people are looking for. Now, a little caveat about this video. This isn't the most crucial video and crucial information of this training series. I would highly recommend you focus on branding and Facebook and Instagram first. Those are going to give you the most bang for your buck. However, if you have a blog already or a website and you're attempting to get more traction and traffic on what you've already built, then this video might give you some helpful tips and ideas. So when we create for search engines, it's really important that we focus on keywords. So keywords are basically, how I like to think of it is that we get in the heads of the people we're serving. So we think, what is this ideal client or our target audience? What do they need? What are they searching for? What are their pain points? And then we go and create the content and find those answers and present the answers to them. And so that's why it's really important to save any cute titles or mysterious titles or, you know, just really catchy titles for other platforms. Things like, you won't believe what this oil did for me. That'd be great for Facebook or an Instagram opener, but a title like that isn't a good option for a Pinterest pin or even a YouTube video. Because remember, people will be searching for very specific keywords. So you're going to want to include those keywords into your video title or your Pinterest pin title or the title of your blog post if you have a blog. So let me share my screen with you. And I'm going to pull up my Pinterest profile, and then I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Alrighty, here is my profile. So the Prairie Homestead is just the name of my blog, but you could just as easily have your name in here, or as you create branding for your business, like we talked about in another video, you can put that in here as well. So Pinterest is a place to collect ideas that link out to elsewhere on the internet. So if you're not familiar with it, you pin ideas into boards. They're organized into boards, and then you share this amazing collection of ideas. So tip number one for Pinterest is you want to create this amazing inspirational area for your ideal client on your Pinterest board. So you want to avoid only posting your content or your posts or about your products. You want to have a good, healthy amount of that, but then you want to add in pins from other like-minded influencers. So maybe you do some healthy living posts or DIY posts from different websites, right? You want to keep that content mixed up so it's not just you and your brand all the time. So you can see with mine, I have a board that's my blog posts that I created, and I pin those blog posts into some of these other boards. But if you click on them, like on my chicken board, you'll see that while I do have some of my posts here, that one's mine, that one's mine, we've also been pinning a bunch of other chicken posts. So it really creates this amazing resource for someone that's searching for chicken information or homestead information. And that is really, really desirable in the Pinterest algorithm's eyes. So if you don't know what the algorithm is, it's basically how Pinterest ranks content and ranks you to see if you're interesting and they should be sharing you. But being really diverse in your content is a great way to make the Pinterest algorithm favor you, at least at this point in time. It changes. All right, so we're going to create boards. We're going to pin other people's content. I wouldn't pin other competing essential oil companies' content, but you know, maybe pin things that are related to healthy living and DIY or whatever your target audience would like. So generally, posts on Pinterest link out to elsewhere on the internet. But if you did want to create a pin from scratch on Pinterest, here's how you do it. We're going to click this little plus sign and select Upload Image. This is going to allow me to take a picture from my computer and link it to a website of my choice. So I have one ready to go. I'm going to do essential oils and sleep. So I have this image. It's a liquid sleep blend. And then I'm going to go over here to my doTERRA replicated website and grab the link, right? So this is your doTERRA.com/whatever your name is or whatever your ID number is. And I'm going to cut and paste that. And then, come on computer, I'm going to pin it right here on the destination URL, or excuse me, paste it right there on the destination URL, okay? So generally speaking, I always link people to my blog. However, right now I'm pretending like I don't have a blog because I know most of you probably don't. And so I'm going to do the next best thing and take people to my doTERRA website instead. And I hit continue, and now comes the important part. I need to describe my pin. And this is where we want to be careful to use good keywords. So when I think about someone who needs help with sleep, they're ready to use essential oils for sleep. What keywords are they going to use, right? They're going to use essential oils, sleep. probably the two big ones. So I want to make sure I'm including those words in my title. So I could say, you know, this pin is the best essential oil recipe for healthy sleep. Something like that, right? I could even put a call to action to have them go to my replicated website again. Click here for more info. I don't think this is going to be clicked on very much, but it's a good backup. Or you could say, for more essential oil tips and recipes, you know, visit my blog, right? This isn't going to be the one that people click on, but it's going to just be a nice supporter for the link that's already embedded. So this image, if you can see part of it here, it's just a recipe for lavender, vetiver, frankincense for the liquid sleep blend. And then I put the title, the best essential oil recipe for healthy sleep, because that's descriptive, right? And now I'm going to save it to a board. So let's see what board. I don't know if I have a DIY, like, I don't have a sleep board. Maybe some people would, I don't. I'm going to pin it to my DIY beauty board. And then that is going to go out. We'll go see it now. That is going to go out to all of my Pinterest followers. It might get on the Pinterest feed. And then people, if they're searching, this will pop up. And then if they click on it, it will take them to, see, they'll click on visit, and that will take them to my doTERRA replicated website. Now, I'm going to be really upfront with you. Sending people that you don't know, that you met on the internet, to your doTERRA replicated site is usually not the most effective way to encourage them to sign up, right? They need that personal connection with you. They need to trust with you. And so ideally, you're going to direct them maybe to a page on a website or a blog. I'm just giving you this option if you don't have that set up yet. And I also thought it was a really good example of how you could use a keyword. But the same principle goes for a search engine like YouTube. If you're creating a video on how, you know, top 5 ways to use essential oils for cleaning, you know, use that sort of title in your video. So you can really grab people who are searching for essential oil cleaning videos. And just, you can use different tools like Google Keywords Planner, or there's tools you can even purchase that help you understand keywords. But honestly, the best bet is just think, what is someone in my target audience going to be needing, and how are they going to be searching for it? And if you can really pinpoint that, you'll be well on your way to creating really good content that'll be picked up by search engines. Okay, guys, I hope that was helpful. Good little tidbits for you to grab some of that traffic, and enjoy. We'll talk to you later.
Hi, this is Haley Hobson, and I am here to share with you some information about funnels. Okay, so funnels, in my opinion, are a way to literally funnel people into a place where eventually they are going to take action. What happens with a funnel is that there is usually some sense of awareness about what you're doing. People are finding you somehow, whether it's inside of a class or whether it's inside of social media, and they're interested, but they're not ready to make a decision yet, and therefore they're not ready to actually take action. So what a funnel is, we call them sales funnel, is it's a great place, it's the perfect opportunity for you to generate new leads into your business and then take them on a journey so that you can nurture the leads as well. It allows you to build your trust and show that you can be their person through that nurturing, okay? Now, when we build a funnel, it doesn't have to be as complicated as it sounds. When we are generating traffic into our life, it doesn't have to be as complicated and overwhelming as it sounds, but there are certain words that we use, and if you're not familiar with them, I want you to take a deep breath because it is easier than you think. Okay, I'm going to teach you right now how to implement a funnel. First, what we want to do is we want to determine where your traffic is coming from. Is your traffic coming from a class that you just taught? Is your traffic coming from a presentation that you did somewhere? Is your traffic coming from a Facebook Live? Is it coming from your Facebook page? Is it coming from your Instagram story? Do you have a blog that you're writing? Do you have a podcast that you're on? Where is your traffic coming? Okay, once you know where your traffic is coming, you want to give people a chance to opt into something. That means that you are capturing their information into your lead capture system, okay? This means that they are landing somewhere. You're taking them off of social media somewhere, and you are taking them to some page where you ideally give them some, what we call opt-in freebie. And again, this can be some piece of content. It can be an ebook. It can be an Audible. It can be a webinar. It can be some type of downloadable freebie where they become interested in you and your content, and therefore they give you their information. This is what we call a lead capture system. This is what we call a landing page or registration page, and they are opting in, okay? Through the content, the ebook or whatever it is that you're giving them is going to be some solution to their problem, right? So you have provided the solution, and then now they have a reason to stay in your funnel or in your automated system. Now, many prospects will not take action on the first touch, so make sure that you are following up, and that follow-up can happen in terms of an email sequence. So let me just show you a slide, this blue and white slide that kind of shows you what happens when people opt in the top left corner. They are then taken to a place where they provide their email address, they download some type of content, and then depending on how they respond to it, they are then receiving a certain kind of sequence, okay? And you can have a sequence that goes out to them if they are interested in the product and want to be a customer. You can have a different sequence that goes out to them if they want to be involved in your business as a partner. Now, this next slide that I show you, like really the colored one shows you what a funnel actually looks like, just to give you a grander picture. So you'll see it first, there's a whole bunch of people on the left side, these little black people, right? And then there is this general awareness that they have about essential oils or you. They are interested, they're going into the funnel, they are clicking on something, and then eventually they're making a decision and they're taking action through the nurturing of the relationship that just happened in those autoresponders or email sequences. So this is a way that you, without even being present, can take people on a journey, pique their curiosity, educate them, build a relationship with them, and then ideally, eventually, they'll reach out to you, book a call with you, get on the phone with you, and then they're in your tree. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, I want you to take a deep breath if this is all new to you. Listen to it again. It's not as complicated as you think. We are just taking people on a very simple yet automated, personable, connected journey that allows them to feel like a relationship is beginning with you so that they can eventually take action. Enjoy the rest of your social media videos. Hey you guys, welcome to our social media training. I wanted to talk to you today about branding, okay? A lot of people will claim that they don't have a brand because they're not the owner of the product that they're selling. And what I want to remind you all is that you can all have a personal brand. In fact, it's imperative that you have a personal brand because doTERRA is not your product. And the way that you are going to stand apart from everyone else that is a wellness advocate in your community, whether they're local or whether they're across the globe, is that you are going to have your personal message, your personal authenticity, okay? So let's talk for a second about what a personal brand actually is, all right? A personal brand it's the story that people say about you when you're not in the room. A personal brand is, like I mentioned before, it's what allows you to stand out from the rest. It's what you represent. It's what attracts your tribe or your audience to you. And it also allows you to increase your reach globally all over the world because you are seen as this trusted expert and authority with this authenticity. And it also basically gives you permission to stop selling your product and instead attract your market to you. And from my experience, the way that we sell well is we market ourselves ginormously. And when people are attracted to us and the way that we make them feel emotionally, that's when they pull the trigger, right? So our brand allows us to incorporate our own uniqueness by bringing in the bring in the personality. We get to show our personality. We should be showing our quirks and our vulnerability. We should be authentic. And by being authentic and vulnerable and quirky, we are able to connect with the people who are what we'll call our tribe or our ideal client avatar. And that happens simply by just being you, okay? So you have to really decide who you are and what your passion is and why you're here. And I promise you, it's not just because you want to get oils on everybody. You have a story. You have a reason that attracted you here, and that reason has to be passionate enough to have other people feel compelled to want to work with you or learn from you. You are creating a business model where doTERRA is part of that model. And by sharing your uniqueness and your quirkiness and your authenticity with your ideal client avatar, you're going to put your brand in the right position where it will elevate into a place where you don't even need to compete with anybody else. It makes your competition completely irrelevant. It doesn't matter what kind of success anybody is having because you have your own uniqueness. Nobody else's story is irrelevant, okay? So when you're able to figure out who you are and what your message is and get down and dirty and ask a zillion questions until your why is making other people cry, right? That's when you figure out who that ideal audience is for you, and you know that you are in the right place and they know that they have come to the right place. And it's so clear that your customer or your ideal business partner is focused now on you and wants to be with you. You are finally able to capture that emotion from them, which is going to trigger something where they definitely feel compelled to work with you, okay? So let me remind you what your personal brand is not. Your personal brand is not your website. It's not a fancy website. It's not a logo. It's not a fancy logo. It's not a tagline. And FYI, it doesn't happen overnight, and it's always evolving as you as a human being evolve. Your brand is completely understanding who you are and who your ideal client is and how to emotionally connect with them so that you are serving them at your best, okay? I hope that helps. I want you to get down and start to write out everything that you know about yourself and why you feel compelled to be doing what you're doing, and then figure out exactly who you're talking to, and then you will be on a point with your brand. Enjoy the rest of the trainings.